Surprise, mother.
All right. Yeah. Hello, YouTube. If you've been wondering where I've been for the past 4 years, then I've written a long-ass post on my community page here on YouTube, and I went into further detail in the live stream, the spontaneous live stream I hosted yesterday. The details are there, but I guess the short, brief recap here would be two aspects. Real life happened, so something master thesis, stressful full-time job, and then in combination with my old computer just really starting to fight me. So 25-minute loading times, game would crash half the time I tried loading it, all that good stuff. I bought a new PC a couple of weeks ago. I installed the game, and it's been really enjoyable playing for a week and a half, I think now. I feel super rusty, but it's just been a lot of fun, and the stream yesterday was a ton of fun as well. So here I am trying to record what I suppose is an episode of something. We'll figure it out along the way. I'm gonna need some assistance from you guys. But yeah, the TLDR is this is my old computer, and this is more akin to my new computer. That's me. So yeah, without further ado, I'm just gonna go into explaining what I've been having fun building for the past week and a half or something, and yeah, then we can continue with it. If I zoom out, the idea is to treat it as a region or a municipality of some sort. So I'm hoping I can get to build many towns and a few like proper cities on this map, and connect them all up with some infrastructure, some transit, all that good stuff. For now, I've started out with this town here, which is quite small, but it's I've already quite a few hours into building it, and we did a bunch of it on stream as well. Actually, I think we built all of this on yesterday's stream. So if you'd like to watch some of that, you can just find the stream. It turned out 4 hours long, and I spent a lot of time talking, but it was just really overwhelming seeing the response and all the activity in the chat. So for a 4-hour stream, yeah, this is not all that much progress, but yeah, you'll have to be aware of that if you try and watch the stream. There's just a lot of talking. But anyways, just gonna go into a bit of detail on the theme that I've sort of created for this project. So when I installed City Skylines a few weeks ago to see if it was more enjoyable on the new PC, I of course started mass subscribing to mods and assets, because there's a ton of new stuff on the workshop as well. I feel overwhelmed and I feel super rusty as well, but yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. Basically, my idea was to just find as much generic looking stuff as I could, and then not really, restrict myself to any one particular theme. So I'm sort of inspired by Australian and Canadian cities, in the sense that I think they sort of have lots of different aspects that you will find both in Europe, in Southeast Asia, and in North America. So you'll have some of the good and bad, right? You'll have excessive suburban sprawl, but you'll also have, pockets of transit-oriented development and some of all these new fancy, urban development terms we use today. So the idea is to be able to build a bit of everything, to not restrict myself. So yeah, this region is not placed in any particular country. I think it probably looks, if it looks like anything in real life, it's sort of an Australian-ish look, but I think the residential theme is just a little too mixed up for that. I will go a bit into details on what the town is comprised of. So basically we have this downtown area, which is quite small, in the center of downtown, if you can say that when it's this size. We got some pretty regular commercial establishments like grocery stores and just regular stuff. You'll find a few vanilla pieces throughout the town as well. I don't really mind using these, but I know some of you are allergic to them, so I apologize in advance. But yeah, I don't find them all that out of place, to be honest. Anyways, as we move further towards the coastline, there's a bit of a change. So we'll have like a nightclub and a hotel, and it's more like tourism, recreational focused, right? As we move further inland, the downtown area sort of tapers off here, and we'll see more and more residential before fully transitioning into just neighborhoods, pretty old neighborhoods as well. At least that's the look I've tried to create, that they're pretty old. I've also tried to create a transition in the residential look. So if we move closer to the downtown and near these more desirable areas, we'll see primarily these really large, beautiful 2 or even 3-story homes, which nobody can realistically afford, clearly. But as we move further inland to, I guess you could say, less desirable neighborhoods, we'll see fewer and fewer of these big 2-story homes, and then more and more of these single-story homes, which you can't realistically buy either due to today's property market. But yeah, they are a little more humble. So that's an effect that I've tried to achieve with some success at some places and more limited success at other places. And just in general, as you've probably noticed by now, the residential theme I'm using is just a complete mashup of many different types of houses. And yeah, I don't know how realistic it looks, but I do kind of like the aesthetic, so that's why I've kind of stuck with it. We also have this really simple office park I've created here, and then if we go over here near the highway, we have a bit of another office basically, and a bit of industry and some more offices. And I think that about covers it. So for this episode, I guess you could call it, my plan is to develop this area. And I think that when all of this is developed, then if I can just move the line of development sort of along this line, so a bit further inland, then I think the main part of this town is finished, and we're ready to move on to something else. So perhaps another small town, or maybe even the foundations of one of the bigger cities of this region. But yeah, for now, let's develop this area. The plan is to sort of extend this main road that cuts through downtown, extend it eastward, so upgrading this suburban street to like a more main street-ish street, and extend it out here. Perhaps a small commercial cluster out here, and then just fill it with residential. And then I'll see if I remember to also add a bit of industry. I'm not sure where to place it yet, but yeah, I definitely need a bit of that. So yeah, let's get building. All right, let's let's take a quick tour of what we've built this episode. So I spoke a bit too soon, expecting to be able to finish all of this. That's not gonna be for today, I think. A little more rusty than I anticipated. As soon as I switched from residential neighborhoods, which I've spent a couple hours building so far in this town, and had to be a little more creative by getting this commercial strip done, then yeah, it definitely was a challenge. The commercial strip wasn't quite as challenging as this intersection, though. That turned out a bit of a horror show, to be honest. I am not very experienced with the intersection marking tool, but it's a super cool mod. But yeah, that's gonna be a lot of trial and error. It's a combination, so one thing is not really being great with the mods, and another aspect is of course that I'm not really an expert in another fire. God damn. I thought I had disabled all this stuff. You know, I want to play the game as a full sandbox so that fires aren't possible. It's a magical world, everybody's happy. But yeah, there you go. I don't think my buildings can actually burn down though, but they'll get like a toasty vibe, like a bit of a crust, so it looks a bit odd. But anyways, yeah, this is a bit of an abomination. We are keeping it. I am so proud of this intersection. It breaks up the monotony of the other intersections I've built so far a bit, so we're keeping it. And then this commercial strip, I think it turned out quite well, actually. Really simple detailing, but yeah, that's always been a thing for me that I enjoy the most, and that's probably gonna continue. Speaking of simple detailing, this turned out to be a bit of a challenge as well. These assets, I don't know if it's just because I haven't enabled or downloaded associated props, or if it's because they're just sort of bare bones and you'll have to detail them up yourself. Nonetheless, they were quite bare when I placed them, so I had to conjure something quick, and here you go. This is my recipe. Lots of flora. Not super detailed, but it looks alright for me at least. Also, as you probably saw during the sped up clips, I initially had like 12 buildings, but it just felt like a bit too massive of an area, to be honest. So we'll stick with 6, and I guess this is really the first sort of apartment complex in this town. Of course, we got some high density residential buildings in here, but they're clearly they're new, right? So maybe a decade old or even less. While these are a bit more, they've been in the city or town for quite a while. Maybe this design is from the 60s or something of the sort. So yeah, really simple construction, but I think it works out all right. And then what else? Well, bunch of residential stuff, of course, to really try and fill out the map and get like a real town or city vibe going as quickly as possible. Sort of the same idea as much of the other stuff. So as we are closer to the more desirable areas, we have nicer homes, and then it kind of transitions. Something I also experimented a bit with was using like really tiny roads with some cul-de-sacs to try and create some cozy neighborhood streets where the lot sizes are obviously pretty small. I think it turned out all right in the end. I quite like these actually. I think I created one over here as well. Yeah, this one is also quite cozy. And then just a ton of trees, these big old trees. I started using these gums as well because I think I used them in Crescent as well, and they just look awesome. And I'm a big sucker for big trees. I hope that didn't come out wrong, but yeah. Also another aspect of my tree usage, if you could say, is that I obviously use it to cover up like imperfections as well. So there's quite a bit of hills on this map, and so when I insist on creating these really close quarter neighborhoods, then at times there'll be a lot of like elevation difference in some of the buildings, and the game sort of makes this of it. So one way is just to kind of cover it up with trees. I think it works for us. It's simple and a good bang for the buck, I think. So it's low effort, but it looks all right. But of course you can do much more to make this much better looking. Using some props and some terraforming networks to provide these people with actual gardens instead of this scuffed stuff. Imagine having kids or like a puppy in this building. It looks a little hazardous, to be honest. But I think that's it. I think the area turned out really well, and I had a ton of fun building it. Now for one final thing before I wrap this episode up, I'm gonna need some help with naming this region and naming this particular town that we've been building during the live stream, off camera, and during this episode. So any sort of like generic names could do. If you have any suggestions for the town as well as the region as a whole, then just throw them in some comments down below, and I'll make sure to make a poll, and then we'll have a little vote so that we can get this project named, because it's a bit odd currently that I don't really have a name for it. Remember, we're not really trying to tie this up into one particular nation or region, but probably Australian inspired. And as you can see, some of the neighborhoods or districts rather have already been named, but this is not my creativity. It's the viewers from the stream the other day, and they certainly went with a, I would say, sort of Australian themed naming scheme. So we got Snakehead and West Camberwell, East Camberwell, Bindering and Casper and Bushtown. And this is what I've named Mr. Creativity himself. So we have Downtown, East Beach, and West Beach. So I'd love to call this Downtown something, the name of the town. So I'm hopeful that we can get some region and town name going. So please, suggestions in the comments below. And of course, thank you guys for all the support during these last couple of days after I streamed. I've received so many messages, and it's a bit overwhelming, to be quite honest. But it's just a ton of fun, and I'm super happy about it. So if you like this content and want to see some more, then remember to subscribe and hit the bell notification. I'm supposed to say that, right? Great. So I think that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and have a really great day. Bye.